I'm Gary Johnson. I'm a certified reflexologist. And of course, I feel like I already know you because Sue Ellen's part of your group here, and she's told me about all of you. I know some of you, I've met a few of you. And if I don't know you, I probably will after today. But anyway, I am a reflexologist. After spending my career life working in manufacturing and skilled trades, I retired in 2006. Now I'm stating my age, but that's okay. I retired in 2006, and after a couple of years, I didn't care much for retirement. I thought I needed to get out and do something. I wanted to be productive and have an occupation. And I tried several part-time jobs. Some of them were great, some of them weren't all that great. But finally, I thought about it, and I thought to myself, if you're going to go out and work anyway, do something really productive. All my life, I've always respected the health keepers, the healers. And as I thought about that, I settled on something that I could do, which came to be reflexology. I found a school I could attend. It was down in Sterling Heights, and it's a 150-hour school. I completed that and took my test and got certification. So here today, we have a reflexology business in Milford. Sue Ellen's my office manager, and she does everything that I don't do, so I'm glad to have her. Now, before I get started here, I do have a little story for you I'd like to tell. It seems there was this young preacher, and he was quite exuberant when he did his sermons. On this particular day, he was doing a sermon about the evils of alcohol, and he was really getting into his sermon, and he told his congregation, he said, you know, what we need to do is go throughout our community and take all the beer, gather up all the beer, take it down to the river, and pour it right into the river. He said, and furthermore, after we do that, we should gather up all the wine in our community and take that down to the river and pour that right into the river also. And after we get that done, we'll gather up all the hard liquor in our community, and we'll take it down to the river, and we'll dump that right into the river also. Well, shortly after that, he concluded his sermon, and he turned to the song leader, and he says, well, what is our final hymn for today? And the song leader said, shall we gather at the river?
I knew that one.
Heard that coming.
That's cute, yeah.
Well, you know, historically, the art of reflexology began in China and also in Egypt. That's the recorded history. However, there are a number of religious philosophers that believe that the art may have been introduced to the Egyptians by the Hebrews during the Israelite slave period in that country. Now, it's also very interesting that there are archaeological indications that a form of reflexology was actually practiced by some early American Indian tribes. They found that. In a book entitled The World That Then Was, and this was a book about the pre-Noachian flood world, the author claims that before that deluge there was an advanced society with sophisticated roadways, musical instruments, high-tech agriculture, and so on. Now I, Gary Johnson, I would speculate that a type of foot manipulation for health purposes was present then, and that Noah and his family were aware of it and brought that art onto the ark with them. In the time of Jesus, he and his disciples and their followers routinely washed and massaged each other's feet. Now, that was to demonstrate their meekness and humbleness, but there was another factor. It was a relaxing and reinvigorating therapy that would have been very helpful to them in dealing with the everyday stress of their ministry. Jesus even incorporated that tradition into the ceremony of the Last Supper. Reflexology today is administered to the feet primarily, but also to the hands and sometimes even to the ears. It's kind of an evolving science that is going along. The fact is that there are over 7,000 nerve endings in each foot, and they all correlate to an organ or a joint or a muscle group or function of the body, and correlate to anywhere. One anecdote that I enjoyed as I was going through all of this is that in the early 1900s, There was a Dr. Fitzgerald who was an ears, nose, and throat specialist, and he wrote in an article that he did, to stop the pain of a toothache, squeeze your toe. He knew something already. Well, the human body is a truly marvelous creation. The Bible tells us that we are wonderfully and fearfully made. Our bodies are designed to heal themselves. Now, a wonderful example of this that works in people every day is human blood. It's truly a miracle substance. It is of such life-saving value that we have learned to harvest it from healthy humans so that we can give it to others who are in need of it. And transfusions have saved many, many lives. Blood is absolutely vital to our bodies. Without it, we could not keep warm or cool off. We could not eliminate waste or fight infections. When your skin is broken from a cut or a scrape, your blood immediately goes into a defensive mode to protect you from bacteria and germs. First, the outward flow of the blood carries away these harmful things. As this occurs, the blood cells begin to stick to the wound to form a perfect airtight patch, which then becomes a protective scab over the laceration until new skin forms. It's like these little tiny microscopic cells know exactly what to do in case of an emergency. Our blood is one of the natural healing systems of our bodies. However, we live in a biologic hostile environment that can and does inhibit our body's natural healing processes. Now, this is where reflexology comes in. A reflexologist is not a healer per se. We participate in a healing process, but we are not a healer. But we are a learned participant in the body's own natural healing process. By endeavoring to create the right conditions, we help the body to heal itself by using the creative processes that are already inherent within it. The central nervous system, I'll refer to it as the CNS. The central nervous system is the body's messenger service. When you feel a sensation, be it pain or be it even a good feeling, that information is carried to your brain by the central nervous system, the CNS. The reflexology can use the CNS to help to bring your body into balance so that the natural healing processes can begin to take place. The reflexologist will focus on reflex points in your feet and your hands to encourage the body to come into balance, wherein those natural healing ways that are already within you can begin to take place. Your body can begin to heal. Manipulating those points has been proven by thousands of case histories observed in actual situations to stimulate the central nervous system to a point of self-healing. The process of foot reflexology is not like any other treatments. It's really very relaxing and soothing. Most people consider it to be a pleasant experience. You will in fact get a really good sleep after having the treatment. In a typical treatment, the therapist and the patient will discuss the therapy and their issues and as to go about how they will devise a plan to attack whatever that issue is, what kind of stress the patient is feeling, and if they are in pain, and if they are, where do they feel it. Depending on that, the therapist will then go ahead and decide where to apply pressure and how much to apply. Before and during the treatment, you don't have to do anything. You just reflex on a reflex chair or a table. A foot reflex session involves a treatment of approximately 35 to 40 minutes. Additionally, the treatment does not require any special equipment or devices. Instead, the therapy is accomplished with only one tool, and that is the hands of your therapist. The therapist then begins to apply force using trained hands, fingers, and thumbs, manipulating the tissues and the nerve endings of the heel and the foot and the ankle. Please keep in mind that this form of therapy is just a relaxing treatment that works. It's not scientifically a medical treatment. Reflexology is an organized treatment system that has been proven to be able to address the central nervous system with the reflex points in your foot. Although this is not a medical treatment per se, it can provide great relief for many ailments without the use of drugs, which is a big plus. Like traditional massage, foot reflexology can reduce stress. When people are stressed, they usually are stuck in their heads thinking and thinking and thinking. Massaging the feet draws the energy away from the head and into the body, allowing people to relax their mind. That's number one. Foot reflexology also increases circulation, very important. If you have poor circulation, where do you notice it at first? In the extremities, in the hands and the feet. Foot massage helps the blood to get moving. Sometimes due to diet, genetics, or lifestyle, calcium and uric acid build up on the reflex points, and they can feel like grains of sand or crystals. We refer to them as deposits. Reflexology can break up those deposits at the reflex points. As I go along massaging the foot and trying to get a feel for what's going on there, I'm always aware if I find any of those deposits. Sometimes it will take more than one treatment to break those all up, but it can be done. These come onto you so slowly that you don't notice them. But try to imagine for a moment having several little tiny stones in the bottom in your shoe if you're walking along. That's the result over time. But once you get those broken up, you will notice a difference. Perhaps my favorite benefit of reflexology is that it feels good. It feels good to the patient. Feet top the list for the most abused area of the body, and massaging them simply is good for your feet. People stand on their feet all day, and many people wear high heels or tight shoes, so the feet can take a beating. Spending a quality amount of time working with the feet can bring much needed nourishment and a healthful, contented feeling to you. Reflexology gives the therapist the tools they need to take foot massage to a whole new level. Foot reflexology is manual manipulation of points on the feet to stimulate through subtle energy reflexes in various parts of the body as a means to promote health and well-being. Reflexology works with homeostasis, the body's desire to maintain balance. When it's hot outside, your body cools off. When it's cold, your body warms itself. This is homeostasis in action. This process works through the autonomic nervous system to help your body adapt to each moment. Reflexology also works through the body's own desire for balance. Think about your liver. It's doing the best job that it can at all times. It does not take a break, never. Our lifestyle, the air we breathe, the alcohol we drink, and the foods we eat can make it tough on the liver to do its job. The idea behind reflexology is that by stimulating the liver reflex, the point on the foot associated with the organ, we can exercise the liver so that it can better do what it does naturally. We bring it into balance so that it can take over and do what it should. If the liver has problems, we can stimulate the reflex. This will not fix it. It stimulates it and exercises the reflex and the whole subtle energy of the liver. When I was in massage school, I was taught that reflexology worked through the nervous system, that there were over 7,000 nerves in the feet, as I explained, and they are all connected to organs and muscles and glands of the body. A reflexology treatment should be a relaxing experience for the patient. If at any time the patients feel any discomfort, any pain, they should immediately tell a reflexologist, and he should stop and immediately re-evaluate the plan that he has for that person. In most cases, the patient will experience relaxation and secure contentment and even improved quality of sleep periods. Almost every reflexology patient will come back and say that they really slept well for 2 or 3 nights after they had the treatment.
You need a volunteer?
I would be one. My shoulder hurts.
I don't sleep.
I don't either.
We'll have that problem.
Yeah.
A few of the other problems that reflexology can positively affect are digestive disorders, and headaches, arthritis, insomnia, a lot of sports injuries, and people with muscle tension. Many people are drawn to reflexology because it is known to relieve tension and improve blood circulation, which is so important. Anytime you can improve your blood circulation, you're going to have a healthier outlook. right now, I'm working with a fella who has lymphatic edema, and his feet and his lower legs are badly swollen. And of course, his problem is more than a reflexologist can handle. He needs to find a good doctor to address that. But in the meantime, he comes to me because every time I give him a treatment, and I work thoroughly towards that point, trying to reduce that swelling. And what that is the lymphatic vessels are not doing their job in carrying away the toxins that are causing that swelling. So I worked very hard trying to get the circulation into his feet so that it can pick up. And what I can do for him is I can kind of slow it down. Every time I do a treatment for him, he tells me that his feet are better for a while, but I can't cure it. Swellen and I were able to find a doctor over at Clarkson, I believe it was, that we directed him to, who has some experience with that, and I have high hopes that he's going to be helped. In the meantime, I'll keep working with him and try to keep that down to a level that he can deal with. Now is an exciting time to be a reflexologist. It really is. I'm glad that I went into this category. 80% of post-surgery patients report moderate to severe pain after surgery. If you've ever had a surgery, you know what I'm talking about. In many documented cases, reflexology has reduced the post-surgery pain without the adverse effects of these opioid medications. Conditions such as respiratory, depression, nausea, constipation, dizziness, these are the things that you can feel coming out of surgery. And we see a patient savings because they're using fewer drugs and having fewer of these kind of events. There's documentation of positive effects of reflexology in post-operative care in a hospital setting or at home. The same is found with maternity care, post-maternity care. Having a baby is a stressful event. And some of you know that. The same is found with maternity care and cure of cancer patients, actually. And now there has been success measured for reflexology in hospice care. You know, I feel that if I could, as a reflexology, relax the tension and soothe the heart and relieve the stress and ease the pain of someone as they're going through the last day of their lives, personally, I would feel that I was in tune with God in doing that. You know, our feet need water. I want to stress that, because most people don't drink enough water. 75% of Americans are chronically dehydrated. There's been several times that I've been to my doctor and he told me, you need to drink more water, you're dehydrated. 37% in Americans, the thirst mechanism is so weak that it's often mistaken for hunger. There's a problem. Even mild dehydration will slow down one's metabolism as much as 3%. One glass of water will shut down midnight hunger pains for almost 100% of the people. That was from the University of Washington. Lack of water is the #1 trigger of daytime fatigue. When you get that tired feeling or sleepy feeling during the middle of the day, more than likely it's because you don't have enough water in your system. Preliminary research indicates that 8 to 10 glasses of water a day. That's hard to imagine pouring down that many glasses of water, but if you space it out, it can be done. That will significantly ease back and joint pain for up to 80% sufferers. A mere 2% of a drop in body water can trigger fuzzy short-term memory, trouble with basic math, and difficulty focusing on a computer screen or a printed page. Drinking 5 glasses of water daily decreases the risk of colon cancer by 45%. Plus, it can slash the risk of breast cancer by 79%. And one is 50% less likely to develop bladder cancer if you drink the proper amount of water. Most average humans drinks about 16,000 gallons of water in their lifetime. Our feet serve us throughout our lives. They are the shock absorbers of our body. Our feet carry as much as 2 tons of weight every day. It's hard to imagine, but if you figure it out mathematically, you carry around 2 tons of weight each day. We got to learn to treat our feet better. I want to go over here to the chart just for a moment. I hope you can all see this here. This is the plantar view. This is the main surface that we use, and that is the bottom of your foot. You're looking at the bottom of your feet here. This is your right foot, that's your left foot. Medial view, we're looking at the inside of the foot from the side, and the lateral view is the outside of it. And of course, this is looking down at your feet. You're looking at the tops of them. We got it color coded here. This color is the tonsil, pharynx, thyroid, larynx. Yellow is the vocal cords, so on and so forth. From this chart and others like it is how we will determine the plan that we're going to work with according to whatever your issues are. You may come in with one headaches or a backache or a knee that's giving you a problem. And we'll interview you and we'll sit down and reflexologist and you together will devise that plan as to exactly how you're going to attack that problem. So, and as I was saying, Sue Ellen and I have now opened up Huron Valley Reflexology. We're in Milford at 441 Main Street in the lower level. That's below the jewelry store, right next to Pallet Restaurant if you're familiar with Milford. Our services include reflex treatments, regular or intensive, and some aromatic oilings. Sue Ellen is also working on her certification in aromatherapy, and she will be part of the business and its activity when she's certified. A regular treatment, or reflexology treatment, takes about an hour. We dedicate an hour to it, and that will include an interview to determine your plan for your treatment based on your conditions and issues. When you call for an appointment, please tell us what your issues are, if any, and that will give me time to research your problems so that I can help to determine a treatment. Many people come, probably over 50% of the people that come with simply tired and sore feet from the daily stress and are just in need of invigoration and well-being. Your regular treatment will also include about 35 to 40 minutes of hands-on massage and manipulation to your foot. All you will be asked to do is to remove your shoes and socks. So whatever your issues are, there's a reflex point that we can address. We can address your problem. If you just have tired or sore feet and would like to have healthy, happy feet, we can help. So all I have left to say here is call us one day. Call us at Huron Valley Reflexology to make your appointment. I think you'll be happy that you did.
Do you help with, like I have neuropathy and I have a bad back? Does reflexology help that?
Neuropathy is very difficult. We can help you feel better, like I say, for 2 or 3 days, like we do with the fellow that has lymphedema. Neuropathy is a nerve condition, and you really need a medical doctor to address that. But we can make you feel better. We can make your feet feel better in the meantime until you can get to a doctor.
Oh, I do have neurology. What about for your back?
There are things we can, depending on what's wrong with it, what's causing it, and we can address it, and actually it's the same thing. We can make you feel better for a time, but if you have a bad back, you need a orthopedic or someone to deal with that.
If you have muscle strain, that's why your back is sore, he can help. But if you have disc problems, he can alleviate the pain for the moment, but he's not gonna fix the disc. That's gotta be done by somebody.
Question. I have pretty bad arthritis in both feet. And are you still able to do reflexology if you have, arthritic pain in your feet?
Yes, in your feet, you have the arthritis?
I have arthritis all over, but the one that's constant and keeps me from being able to walk. I've been doing it, but I look like a 100-year-old person wandering down the street with my poor dog, because they hurt, but I'm determined I'm gonna walk anyhow. But I just wondered, I know they do pressing, I've had one experience with reflexology, and, so I wondered, and you know what, I didn't realize that she pointed out to me, that I had problems with my kidneys. And unbeknownst to me, there was a problem that I wasn't even aware of with my kidneys, but she could feel it in my feet.
Wow.
And shortly thereafter, I ended up being diagnosed with Wegener's disease, and it attacked my kidneys. They were down to 24% functioning. So that was kind of a miracle.
Some of these nerve endings do, you can affect arthritis to a certain point through the nerve endings. I would want to talk to you more.
Okay, I'll call you.
I have this terrible sore shoulder. I went to the doctor and they couldn't figure out anything. They took a blood draw. I don't know what they're looking for there, but they're gonna try to figure it out, but it's very painful. It just, every time I move it, it hurts.
Do you think it's in the muscles or do you feel it in the joint?
I think it's in the muscle,
We should be able to do something to relax that.
yeah.
I'd feel like to try it.
I've had bunion surgery on both feet twice. Now, would that affect me? Would you still be able to help with any other problems I might have?
Yes, I just
Okay.
have to, I'd have to be aware of where the surgery was and I don't want to aggravate it.
Okay.
And most of us do drink a lot of water. That's one of our
Goals.
Yeah.
goals here.
Boy,
And,
Yeah.
and
you're
I
already-
always drink.
You're already a few steps ahead.
Yeah, you're kind of preaching to the choir about water.
Well,
Right.
I think sometimes people don't drink as much
We
as
know
they
it,
should.
but,
Yeah, we know, it. we
Most-
just don't always
most
do
do.
We
it.
know we're supposed to, but we don't always.
and you know, I offered a
Oh, I do.
suggestion that
I do.
I've been doing, because I need to, because of how it affected my kidneys, which are still not functioning as good as they should, is that every time I go to the bathroom, I drink a glass of water. I have just an 8-ouncer and just glug it down. And you'll get in every time you pee. And you know, but seriously, and you know what, initially, when you get your water level up to what it should be, yeah, you're gonna go to the bathroom a lot. But eventually your kidney, your bladder will, because it shrinks down like your stomach, like when you're watching what you eat. Your kidney, your bladder shrinks down, so you will slowly expand it where you won't be going as often. It's just initially as you're introducing more water, just be patient, give it a few days, and you won't be like always,
You know,
I drink hot water instead of coffee,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
because
That's a good
coffee is
tip.
dehydrating.
Well, I'm 75 years old, so you all know what it's like. You have to get up several times during the middle of the night to go to the bathroom.
I turned 91 the other day.
Oh,
Yeah, how about that?
Has everybody got a card in here that wants to participate? I'm gonna let Gary draw, okay? Is that all right?
but drink the water, even if you do have to
They
get up to
send
the
you a
bathroom.
card.
That's a
Okay.
nuisance, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get the drawing going here for you. And she'll tell you about it, I think. And our winner is Rose Davis.
Very good.
Congratulations, Rose.
Wow.
Well, this is very good, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Every time you come down and see the shop, where we're at, just come in for a visit. Sue Ellen's always got a pot of coffee there, and we'd be glad to have you.
And water in the refrigerator.
Yeah. we got the whole-
Right, yeah.
Are you right below the Indian place, or are you behind there?
No, we're below the jewelry store. The Indian place is here, the restaurant is here, the jewelry store is next to it. We're below the jewelry store.
Oh,
So if you
all
go
right.
in that parking lot behind
Yeah,
the restaurant and jewelry store, that's where our entrance is.
okay,
Okay.
You're on the west side.
yeah.
Okay, well,
You're speaking to someone that knows left and right, not west and east.
It's the
Are you on
West.
the west side or the east side?
West side.
West side,
There.
okay.
So
Thank you all for having me.
Well,
Thank you.